Now from Atlanta News First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Welcome into Sports Tonight. Emily Gagnon here with Lee Smith.
What's up?
January 29th, cool night in Atlanta, Georgia. Lee, what's going on? Did you have a good weekend? Lee was off on Saturday and Sunday, guys. It doesn't happen very often in the
It does
world of
not happen
sports,
very often.
but
to
it
full
happened.
advantage.
Yeah.
Me and my wife went to North Carolina and hung out for the weekend in the mountains.
Sounds very joyous.
It's
I
very
love that.
nice. Very
Okay.
nice.
Did you have time to watch the AFC and NFC championship games, given the fact that you were in the mountains? And be truthful. It's okay if you didn't.
I didn't watch much of the AFC championship game because it was
early.
earlier.
Yep.
But we did. We were able to catch the late game.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Love that.
Just nothing better than a collapse
A collapse.
in front of millions of people.
The Lions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into that though.
Yeah, we will get into that. So it was a good weekend in the mountains. And what was
What'd
the
you do?
What, Lee, I was here. You already know that. Stop acting like I was here in this office working, guys. I went to we got to hear from the Braves at Braves Fest at Chose Park.
That's right.
Baseball's almost here, 2 weeks away from spring training. So
That's
if you're
crazy.
yeah.
So fast.
So here we are. And then yesterday I watched the AFC and NFC championship games, and we should just get it started, Lee. Let's get the AFC and NFC chat going. So the Chiefs won the AFC championship, beat the Baltimore Ravens. Ella Dorsey, our meteorologist, who's a huge Ravens fan, she was at the game. She was at the bank in Baltimore. I think she tweeted out on social media. She said, "I'm not okay." When I read that, I thought it was epic. I was like, Ella, I felt bad for her.
I feel like that's a lot of Chiefs fans. I mean, a lot of Ravens fans today, though.
Yeah, but
that's
I
because this
loved
was
it.
their year. If they were gonna do it, this was it.
Yeah. So
They didn't take advantage of it.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
What I saw, Lee, in that game was that the Ravens picked the worst game to not show up,
Yeah.
and that the Chiefs picked the best game to show up, because they've been struggling a lot as of late. But yesterday they did not look like they were a team that struggled at all.
No, and Lamar was a big reason of the struggles. He just, it seemed like he was off. I don't know why. But when you can only muster 10 points in a game, that's not going to win.
Yeah, and it was
especially
it was
against
a
Patrick
low-scoring game.
Mahomes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a low-scoring game. I expected more offense from both teams, actually. But that told me the defense showed up. I felt bad for Roquan Smith, former Dog, drafted, I think it was 8th overall. Do you remember that? I think it was 8th overall by Chicago, by the Bears.
Yeah.
So, to me, I felt bad for him. I thought he deserved it. He plays really good.
Top-notch linebacker.
Yes, one of the best in the leagues. 6th in tackles during the regular season. So I felt bad for him, like I said. But the Chiefs definitely deserving. And anybody like Juan, our producer, who came on last week, I don't know if you knew that he came on.
I did not.
Yeah, he came on. And Juan said he no longer, or he didn't say no longer, but he was overseeing Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Like he basically.
Chiefs fan or no?
No. He was just saying it would be nice for it not to overshadow the games.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so Juan came on with me and Bailey, and
okay.
he expressed, and it was no hate, because he likes Taylor. He was just saying that he was hoping that maybe, that we could move on from that.
Yeah, and I fully agree with Juan.
Stop. See?
We don't need any more Taylor Swift. Can we just get some football?
What's funny is I went to breakfast with
Super Bowl is going to be literally, at least a whole hour of Taylor Swift. As if the world didn't already have enough of that.
I'm not a Taylor Swift hater, but I'm not also I'm not a lover. So for me, I could go either way, right?
It's just a change. It's a change.
It is, but anytime Travis Kelce does something, and he does a lot of things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cameron's going to be right there.
Especially yesterday. Let's talk about his day really quickly, because he, too, at times this season has been frustrated.
Well, I think he went 10 straight weeks without a touchdown.
Yeah.
Which is, for him, it's insane.
Correct. But he had a major milestone yesterday. He passed Jerry Rice in most receptions in the playoffs. So he hit
All right.
Yes. So he hit 150. He had more
That's
than
a
that.
big deal.
But when he hit 152, that's when he passed Jerry Rice. It was an 8-yard pass from Patrick Mahomes, and so he's definitely. I know that he's mentioned, and he never said he's going to retire, but he has mentioned that I think he's thinking about life after football and
For sure.
maybe wanting to like do other things.
I mean, he's already
explore.
got two Super Bowls.
Right.
Possible third.
But, when you stick around long enough and you're a good player, you get to milestones like that. And when you're mentioned in the same sentence as a Jerry Rice, I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing the right
That's
thing.
automatic Hall of Famer, filled right there.
And I think I also heard, and this was the game before, it was in the divisional round, that between quarterback and tight end, they were, I think during that game, tied for the most touchdowns. Quarterback to tight end to Tom Brady and Gronk.
Yeah.
So,
That's really, really good company. I mean,
Yeah,
you literally can't be any better than that.
correct.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for. I had no dog in the fight, Lee. I like I said, I like when former dogs get rewarded and when they play well and get to go to the Super Bowl. But with that said, McCole Hardman is going to his 4th Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
He's 1, 2, lost 1.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Former Dogs receiver. And then Malik Herring also plays for the Chiefs defense. So a couple of players there.
So just some quick stats. Total plays for the Chiefs, 73. Baltimore only had 57.
It's wild.
And Baltimore Baltimore had more yardage. Total, they had about 20 more total yards, and they had 25 more passing yards. But they also had 3 turnovers to the Chiefs' 0.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs had the ball for 37 minutes, and then Baltimore had it for
possession.
22 and a half. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's wild. And what's wilder is that place, you could tell how crazy it was. Like, Baltimore earned the right to host that game.
Yeah.
Best team during the regular season. I think they had 13 wins, and nobody else had that many.
I mean, it's crazy that you can do that if you're Lamar Jackson. You can be that good all season, and then
it just shows.
And then you just fall flat on your face.
Correct. It just shows like one game, and here we are. So
That's
it'll be
tough.
another year of Chiefs in the playoffs. I do ask you this, Lee: are you sick of seeing them in the playoffs yet? Or not in the playoffs? I'm sorry, in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted. I wanted like a Ravens Lions. I think.
Really? That would have been cool. That would have
Yeah.
been unusual and different. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
my mom pointed it out to me. Obviously, we cover these things year in and year out, and I don't really think much about it because it's nice to see dynasties built. It's nice to see teams stay as consistent as the Chiefs have.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm just so sick of seeing the Chiefs play in the Super Bowl. And that, to me, is like an average fan.
And well, I
And
hope
those are the people who are watching, though. There's a lot
if
of
you're
average
sick of seeing
fans.
the Chiefs play in the Super Bowl, I promise you're going to be sick of seeing them, especially after you see Taylor Swift for another 4 straight hours.
Well, I saw somewhere on Twitter that she has a concert in Japan. Did you see this?
Oh, and she's going to fly back or something?
She has a concert in Japan like the night before.
No.
Yes.
No.
But I don't know what it is, but there's a calculation that she could make it to Vegas by 5 p.m. Vegas time, the day of the Super Bowl. I don't doubt that she will.
Oh,
Why would you
God.
miss that? I wouldn't. I just,
Just cancel the
I feel like Usher-
cancel the tour day.
Usher should be like, Usher and her should do something at halftime.
I guess it's possible.
It's not going to happen, but it's been the season of Taylor Swift, and the NFL and her have very much benefited
Congrats to the Chiefs.
off of that. So, should we listen to the Chiefs?
Let's do it. Let's
Why
listen
not?
To the Chiefs.
Let's listen to a little bit of AFC Championship sound. Chiefs headed to Super Bowl 58 in Vegas, which, by the way, will be on Atlanta News First.
I was proud of them. I'm proud of the season that they had. I feel like it was a team that had a lot of challenges. You know, I don't think it was a team that was too highly touted coming into the season by the pundits and the prognosticators and all that. And I think they proved a lot of people wrong all year. Quarterback made a statement all year. So many players that had so much to prove. I think of a guy like John Simpson, you know, just off the top of my head, who had so much to prove and come in and play the way he did. Jadavian Clowney, Kyle Van Noy, just two guys that came in late, you know, that didn't seem like anybody else wanted, right? And they came in and played the way they did. So there's so many stories on this team, so many individual stories. The message is to is eyes straight ahead, you know, your chin up, your chest out, and understand what you did accomplish. And I'm proud of them.
I mean, we had some opportunities out there, you know. Just got to take advantage of them. Can't turn the ball over, you know, fumble, interception, stuff like that. They gave them the opportunity to, you know, put points on the board and win the game. We get in that red zone. It's been our touchdown all season, you know. We just got to finish, and we didn't do a good job on finishing. Defense did a wonderful job, but held a great offense at 17 points. We got to execute. We scored one touchdown, and that's not like us. You know, that was early on in the year. No excuses, though. We got to take advantage.
Travis is always fired up. You know, he's always fired up. But with the playoffs, he's even more so. And so I never worry about him being ready to go. He's always right there and just brings that emotion to the guys, that just secure feeling that we're going to go get this thing no matter what. And don't think of anything opposite that. We're going to get it. So I appreciate his attitude always. Easily you could fold. I told you that after our last game against Buffalo, the thing that stood out to me most was just the positive attitude on the sideline. Through the highs and the lows of positive attitude, that kind of tells you the season, gives you the whole story there. The guys never doubted. They just, they put themselves in a position where you had a chance, and they took care of that. What you get is everybody's best shot. So every week you're going to get the best shot, and so there are no games off for any of that stuff. There's not any in the NFL anyways, but there are no games off. There's no light opponent. You've got to bring it every week, and so again, to be in this position, that tells you a little bit of something about the mental makeup of this football team.
You don't take it for granted either. You never know how many you're going to get to, if you're going to get to any. And so it truly is special. Just to do it with these guys after what we've been through all season long, the guys coming together, it really is special. But I told them, the job's not done. Our job now is to prepare ourselves to play a good football team in the Super Bowl and try to get that ring. Yeah, he's one of those guys that he loves the challenge. And all week, rightfully so, we heard about how great their defense was. And they were. They shut us out in the second half. But for Travis, that's like, all right, what can I do against this great defense? And so he has that mindset, and he led us like that. Every single practice, every single walkthrough, he was focused in, he was locked in, bringing energy. It makes my job a lot easier when you have a guy that's in that room, that tight end room, that receiving room, and he can lead those young guys and show them how we do and lead us to an AFC championship. Just going into two hostile environments, having to come together as a team and to win those games and hold that trophy, it really was special. But if I had my choice, I'd rather do it at Arrowhead. So we'll try, after we go through the Super Bowl and hopefully win it, we're going to try to get it back at Arrowhead next year.
All right, guys. Patrick Mahomes, the man. Wait, so how many rings does he have, Lee? Do you know?
He's got two.
Two. Well, and we
Two
just
and
talked about McCoy.
yeah.
So
Two and he lost one.
Do you feel like he'll be able to at least catch Tom Brady? He's still young.
I don't think he will.
Okay.
But
he, again,
he's already going to be number 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's amazing. All right. Let's move on to the NFC title game.
Womp, womp, womp.
I think everyone other than 49ers fans were cheering for the Detroit Lions. Seriously, I thought that game, that first half, I wish Miss Carroll were still here.
Move over,
Detroit,
Cowboys fans. Detroit was America's team this year.
I mean, they were chef's kiss, and I felt so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. They did it to themselves, right? It's sports. At the end of the day, mistakes are made. Mistakes happen and mistakes are made. And
I don't think I've seen a worse first half, second half split of one team. Like, that was so bad.
For sure. I was excited. Like, I think like most people, like, oh my gosh, the Lions could actually do it. And Jahmyr Gibbs is from Dalton, Georgia, went to Georgia Tech, but then went on to play at your school, Alabama, drafted in the first round. I hear he's nothing but a great kid, great player. He had a good game, especially in that first half. So I was hoping for I was just hoping for one thing I know, Lee, and I'm going back to like average fans like my mom, love underdog stories.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
they were the Cinderella story. And I think a lot of people would have liked not just the city of Detroit, because, like, let's be honest, they need this. Just like when Michigan won, right? It felt good in the national championship.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. That's a good run for Michigan, state of Michigan.
Yeah. So, to me, I was like, man, like, this is gonna like revitalize the place, and it might still. But Coach Campbell, my hat's off to him.
Yeah, he did a heck of a job.
And he told his players after the game, Lee, I don't know if you saw this, but he said, he was saying how he thought that this might be their only chance, and he was being truthful with them, and he says that, and you might be like, oh, what kind of coach says that? He only said that because this is what followed with it. He said, this might have been our only chance, because from here on out, we will get every team's best shot.
Yep.
So this might have been the easiest route, because from here on out, teams are going to play us like we made it to the NFC title game and almost won.
So could you kind of compare like their first half when they were dominating against San Francisco, kind of like their whole season now, where that was going to be their easy part, and then the second half is going to be next year and after, because it's not going to be easy.
Not to mention, Lee, this was kind of like the Tennessee-Alabama game.
Was it?
Brett's not here. I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's like one half to the next. Listen, the 49ers were deserving, no doubt.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan has done a great job with the 49ers. He did a great job here as offensive coordinator. I do believe Matt Ryan really liked him. That was Matt Ryan's MVP season in his second year in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And that's when he got the head coaching job with the 49ers, because he did all the right things, and he deserved it. He earned his right. But when you get a job, Lee, you got to earn your keep, right?
Cool.
Like, you earn a job, and then you got to earn your keep. And I do think Shanahan has done that in San Francisco.
Yeah, he has. He's also got one heck of a roster too.
Yeah.
But like the way they came back though, when it was 24-7 at one point, 24-7 at one point, and they came back.
Yeah. Like
what was it, 37-34?
The final?
Yeah.
Or was it 34-31?
I think it was 37-34.
It was 3 points. It was a field goal. Yeah.
Hats off to 49ers for not quitting. I mean, that's
facts.
That's crazy.
Purdy has had an interesting season. Like, I want to say he came out of nowhere, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Like, anybody who knew him prior to knew he was a good quarterback and all the things. But again, your average fan, it's like, where'd this guy come from? Oh my gosh! But it's a great
That's
story.
a crazy story in itself. But Jared Goff, I mean, he played so good yesterday, and he had a couple of drops from the receivers. Dan Campbell went for fourth down pretty much every time. They couldn't convert half of them. They punt the ball, and they had it at the 1 yard line to stop it, but then the guy catches it and like walks back into the end zone literally everything that could have gone wrong in that second half did, until they scored their only 7 points.
You sometimes.
I mean, it was when people say it's a game of momentum. It is insane. It is a game of inches. But like last night, you can't tell me after watching that momentum isn't a real thing. Like, it is.
No, yeah.
When they got started, they weren't going to be denied.
and they were home.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, Lee, when you look at like the beginning of the season, you might have thought it was going to be like Ravens 49ers, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, the 49ers were playing in the NFC Championship game for a reason. Detroit got hot and did all the right things to get there.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad about it, but it would have been awesome to see the Lions play. But let's hear from the teams after the AFC, or NFC, I apologize, NFC Championship. Again, we'll see the Chiefs and the 49ers in Super Bowl 58 in Vegas.
I'm really proud of all these guys. I am. I mean, and it's hard when you lose that way. It's hard. You know, you feel like you get your heart ripped out. So, but I'm proud of that group, and I'll go anywhere with that group. And you wish you could keep it all together, but that's not the reality. So, you know, we did some really good things, but today we didn't do enough, and it's tough. Yeah, I just felt really good about us converting and getting our momentum and not letting them play long ball. You know, they were bleeding the clock out. That's what they do. And I wanted to get the upper hand back, you know, and it's easy hindsight, and I get it, you know. I get that. But I don't regret those decisions, and that's hard. You know, it's hard because, you know, we didn't come through. It wasn't able to work out, but I don't. And I understand the scrutiny I'll get. That's part of the gig, man. But, you know, we just didn't work out. It's been very uncharacteristic of us. We've always been able to get our momentum back, and it's hard to say. I honestly right now I can't put my finger on that. That's not like us. You know, we had plays to be made that we just didn't make. We normally do, and you know, some of the things third quarter we came out. I thought we did a really good job defensively, man. Held them to 3, and then got the ball back, moved it, you know, and but we just couldn't quite make those plays. And so third quarter, you know, we've been there before, and so fourth quarter you feel like we're going to get it back, and we just couldn't quite get over the hump, and you know, and that hasn't been us all year, and it showed up today at the worst time.
They scored. We didn't convert the fourth down. They scored again. We turned the ball over. That little sequence right there makes it tough. But I mean, we were still in the lead, I believe, at that point, and yeah, had plenty of opportunities to still win it there at the end, and yeah, just came up short. And I struggle finding the words to totally encapsulate how or why, but I do know I'm proud of this team and proud of these guys and proud to be a part of it. And no quarter, half play defines any of us, and unfortunately they were better than us today.
And we just pulled them up before, and so guys, it's only 17 points. Been a lot of football games where you're down 17 points or starting with the ball. That's plenty of time to come back, plenty of points to come back, but regardless of any of that stuff, we're not going out like this. We got to be a lot more aggressive here in the second half, and in everything we do, offensively, defensively, special teams. I thought we switched up a little bit more, tightened up on some things with some pressure, some man coverage, and the guys didn't want today to be the last day, and we put ourselves in a hole, but they played like it in the second half, and we were able to get the ball to bounce the right way, and we made up for what we did in the first half. I was exhausted. It took for everyone so long to get in. Then it was really hard to talk because everyone had their family and kids in there, and I struggle to talk when I can't use all the words I want to use. But it was my message. I was just so proud of the guys. I mean, these last 2 weeks. I mean, we've had some talented teams. We do have a talented team right now, but that just the character and the grit of the guys there. I mean, you could see it on their faces at halftime. I could see it on them all week. Our guys got a lot of love for each other, and every year when the season's over, it's always a new team the next year, regardless of how many times people return. How many people return, and our guys didn't want this to be the last day, and we had to really fight for it to make that happen, but we pulled it off, and couldn't be more proud of the group.
Yeah, no one was rah-rah, no one was freaking out. It was just, it's football. I feel like there's a lot of experienced guys on this team, veterans that have, been in crazy situations, and so everyone was like, all right, we just got to do our job straight up. Like, the offense has to move the ball. We got to put up points, convert on third downs, defense, get some stops for us, and that was really about it. There wasn't really much said. Kyle said a couple things, Fred said a couple things, but we kept it simple. And so went out. We all knew what we had to do. Season's on the line. We're down 17, so I think everybody stepped up, and when we played really good complementary team football from there.
I think everybody was pretty focused. We knew we didn't start the way we wanted to, but that's why football is 4 quarters. And we knew we had the guys that, if we were going to do it, we got the guys that can make it happen. And just so proud to be a part of this group. Showed a lot of resilience this week, last week, and just pumped up. I don't have, enough good things to say about Brock. All he's done since he's been here is play at an elite level, and everything starts with him. And I'm just we're lucky he's our quarterback. He takes a lot of heat for absolutely no reason. All he's done is been a great leader, been a great player, and I'm so proud of him, and pumped up that I get another one with him this year.
That's back-to-back weeks with wins that we weren't supposed to have, apparently. But just 2 gutty wins, 2 wins that just show you the type of team that we have, the mindset, the will, the heart that everybody has. Our 3rd time with these group of guys. Some people's 4th time. We were just working, praying, hoping for a breakthrough, and we got it today.
And we are back. Sound from the AFC NFC Championship games. We're going to put a bow on it with talking about Raheem Morris another time. We learned today that we will hear from the man himself next week.
7 days.
Yep. And so I can't wait to see him. Positive, well-spoken, awesome man. Listen, before he was hired, I said this is not me bragging. This is just how I felt. I felt like he should be the one to be hired. I'm very happy that the Falcons listened to me.
It just took 3 extra years. That's all.
Yeah. How much experience do you think you can gain in 3 years? I think a lot. He won a Super Bowl in LA.
A lot.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you see people pop up all the time that weren't on anyone's coaching radar the previous year. So how much are you going to learn in 1 year?
Yeah.
So 3 years, I feel like, is a good little range. But
I know his head coaching record is not the best.
Yeah.
I've had several people point that out to me, fans, and say, oh, we're just going to hire somebody who has a losing record as a head coach. What I have to say to you is that let's just give him another chance, all right? Let's see what happens. He was a head coach in Tampa when Tampa was not very good. And then, interim during COVID.
Not many people have had success in Tampa. Been 2 coaches.
Yeah. Who?
Well, I guess 3 now. John Gruden.
Yep. I would say Tony Dungy was successful there, too.
Yeah.
That was his team, by the way.
That's right. Okay, well.
But it was John Gruden, but it still was. Most people are like, that was Tony's team.
Yeah, and Bruce Arians for the 1 year.
Yeah, I'm not.
They won.
Yeah, let's really quickly. We have a
Cool.
minute left.
Let's go.
NBA, NCAA hoops. This is all encompassing here. The Hawks have the Lakers tomorrow.
Hawks Lakers tomorrow. They got to win against the Raptors last night on buzzer beater.
By 1 point. I was going to say
1 point.
bucket, but
Yeah.
by a point. Sadiq Bey. Nice. Slam.
And then UGA hoops. They are playing.
Fantastically.
They are playing pretty good. They barely lose in overtime to Florida.
Yep.
On Saturday.
I felt for them there because they rallied.
But now they've got Alabama, who leads the SEC in hoops. Mm-hmm. So they're coming in on Wednesday to Stegman, and then Georgia Tech is playing tomorrow night against number 3 North Carolina at home at McCamish Pavilion. So a lot of hoops.
They have only won 2 of 9.
Yeah.
ACC games. It is Damon Stoudemire's first season. You've got to remember that. It takes time to build a team. He was only. He inherited a team of players, and this is nothing against the players, but they're not his players.
Yeah.
That takes time. We both understand that. But in sports, there never is time. they're not going to fire him at the end of the season. But what I am saying is that he's going to have to build a team, give him a little bit of time to build a team of players who will be successful under his watch.
I think they'll be all right.
So I do think hoops right now, good week of hoops in Atlanta, and the Suns are here on Friday.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is really good. All right, guys, we're going to sign out now. Have a good night. That's what's on our minds.